Ta-da! It's me, your pal, Sebastien. Reseller, thrifter, collector, all the stuff. And in this video, I'm going to do a little show and tell, per usual. And I'll start with a few objects, art, art pieces, and I do have a lot actually. And then this disaster of clothing right here. So I'll get going right along here. This first one's really neat. I grabbed this off the cart. It's a little vintage Polo Ralph Lauren bear. I kind of want to keep this one for a minute, and then I probably will list it for sale eventually, but the list price was $4, so not bad. But I kind of love it. Then, you know, these I don't skip out on because the duck decoys, people pay for these. I think I've shown them before. Now, this one I don't think is all that old. I mean, I do think it's vintage, but it almost, I'm not even sure actually if this one was hand done. It feels a little more machined or something, but fairly cheap, you know. So this, even if it's not like a super fancy one, I can still sell it for like $50, and it cost about $6.50. So yeah, don't skip on the ducks, the loons. This might be a loon for all I know. Widgeons, whatever they're called. This one is a widgeon. This one has a little head damage, unfortunately, but pretty cool. Again, paid $6.50 on this one after coupon at Goodwill. Quack quack. But they're cool, and actually, since I've been picking up a bunch of those, they kind of look cool because I have them out in my studio, and they're just kind of scattered throughout, and it's, I don't know, it's kind of a comical and fun piece to have. With the way I have it in my studio, it looks funky, but in a more traditional or rustic or whatever kind of aesthetic, it looks more seamless. This one, this is a plate I grabbed off of a cart that I was just gonna try and pass to one of my reseller friends, and he's like, and then, you know, he was looking at the bottom. He's like, oh, that's fairly old, you know. You sure you don't want to keep it? You know, to me, he was saying, and I'm like, no, you can have it. I have a lot of stuff, and this isn't my area of expertise. I just thought, hey, the design was nice, and then it looked like it had a nice signature on the bottom. And again, I don't know much about it, but for $4, I think it's pretty cool. You could maybe sell for $30, but again, I don't know much on that. Now, going into some of the artwork, and these are my favorite pieces to get in terms of art, not for design, I just mean in terms of practicality, are just posters that are unframed, because I can store them in my flat file, so it's very space friendly. So in terms of how you would say dollars that's taken up space, this is one of the most efficient ones for art, are posters. So this is a vintage Georgia O'Keeffe flower poster. Print from Portal Publications, and so that one, the Portal is fairly vintage, so those can, I've sold a few Portal pieces before for pretty good value. So I mean, again, it just depends on a lot of factors, but this is pretty cool. Nagel piece I got off of Marketplace for $40, serigraph. These I would say are fairly commonish, so they're not worth a ton necessarily, but they are cool pieces. And so I paid on that one. So the O'Keeffe, I mean, I didn't pay like $8. This one I did pay 40, so did have to pay something for it. But you know, it is sellable, and Nagel's one of my favorites. I actually have a couple other pieces I'll show that I picked up for my own personal collection. This here is a very nicely done painting after, like, this was done in the 90s, but it was done after a fairly famous work, you know, dating back. I don't know the artist, but I really like how the flowers are done in there. Like, it's very well done copy. So this one was about $10. Really cool piece in my opinion. You know, like I've mentioned before, I like a lot of religious imagery. especially, Catholic is, I like a lot of different religious imagery, different Christian religious imagery, and even other religions too. I just have more experience or knowledge on the Christian imagery, especially like maybe 15th through 19th centuries. This one, Amado Pena, but the reason I picked this one up is it's signed. Yeah, so you can see it there, hopefully. I see this this guy's work time to time, posters, but I'll pick something like that up if it's signed. And not expensive, was $8, and I think it should sell fairly decent. This one I really liked, actually. This is really cool. This is like from the 60s, and it's repro. Like they did a bunch of these prints. So it's not like it's super rare, but it's apparently it's called Miss Wong, and I can't remember the artist's name. He's got a tricky name, like it's very Russian or Eastern European sounding. So I would butcher it anyways, even if I could just tell it to you off the bat. But very kind of kitsch in a way. A very cool piece. I really like it. And it's got this little thing to hang on, which I don't know. It's just a cool touch. So on this next one is, this one was like $4 or $5, and it's like Southeast Asian. I don't know too much about it. I'll have to research it a little bit because I don't know the patterning and stuff. Like I'll have to look it up a bit more to see like what area was using these kind of color patterns and stuff, because there's pretty strong variance region to region, country to country. Even within countries, there's so much variance, and things change over time too. And now, per usual, most of the stuff I pick up is at Goodwill, but I do pick up stuff at like Savers and White Dove. I would like to work in more estate sales, stuff like that. It's just for me, practicality. I like the routine of having like, I can hit like 5 to 8 thrift stores in one go, and I get my little loops, and they're concentrated in areas. This is a cool one. This is signed. Where's the signature here? Oh yeah, down here. This is Boone Morrison, and I did a lot of Hawaiian Polynesian photography. It's my just real quick basic understanding of it. And, that one I got at White Dove, and I think I got it for about 10, and it should sell for, my guess is in the $100 to $200 range. Probably in the mid to lower range on that. This is a cool piece. Now, this one I don't think is signed, which is unfortunate, but it was, this was a Goodwill find. It was about $10. I love the composition on it. It's just beautiful. The coloring is nice, that kind of matte and subtle kind of pinks and everything. Just a beautiful piece. Vintage, maybe, I don't know, it's got the 80s, 90s aesthetic, So, very cool. This one, yeah, this guy, what's his name? Albert LeMay? Something like that. But it's cool. It's don't test me on my bird knowledge. I can't freaking remember. Is it a heron? I want to say it's a heron. I would put money on this being a heron. No, I could be wrong though. But it's numbered edition, signed. This one I want to say I paid about 14. I think it will sell for maybe $100. But it's a nice piece. Very look good, and I see some have sold, but they were paired up with another piece, and they looked really good. They were the same formatting, a different kind of bird, I think. This is a cool, like, colored pencil piece, and I didn't even dig much on researching the artist, but it's got such a cool aesthetic. It's very nicely done. Illustrative style. Colored pencils are, people can do such beautiful work with them. I mean, you can do beautiful work with a lot of mediums, but colored pencil I think is cool because it's very accessible. Like that's a tool you use as like when you're a child, but you can also create, you know, very versatile, highly skilled works with it too, or works that show great skill, you know. Now this one, what did I pay on this guy? I want to check first before I tell you. Oh yeah, this one wasn't bad at all. For what it is, this one was $32. Picked it up yesterday. It's a big ass landscape by this guy named GT Pickett. I don't know why I wanted to say it that way. It just seems like how you'd say it. Got a pretty cool. I like how he signs his name though. The handwriting on it. But it's an original oil painting. And this guy's work sells for decent money. So decent money. What am I even meaning by that? Maybe 500 to 1,000. It is my understanding. But even if this one didn't have a name, like the artist being a name, you could still sell it just based on what it is, the style. It's nicely painted, you know. Do I even know what direction this goes in? I should. I mean, this is Monet. I mean, Monet print. Nymphaeus. Goodwill pickup. And where was I at on price on that one? Page 16. The good thing though with Monet and all those impressionists, a lot of times is it sells very well. This piece I think is decently hard to find, which helps. Yeah, I mean, I love Monet. I don't particularly love that piece. It's a little bland for my taste. Maybe I just don't get the subtleties of it. You know, that's taste. It's all different. Now this is a heavy one. And at first I was like, oh, could this be an original? You know, just because of how it's framed, you know. And here, I'll show you on the back. It's heavy. So it's definitely vintage. Possibly even antique. I'm not sure on that. Because I'd need to study when they were like framing like this. These little things. It seems very fancy to me. But this is Charles Russell. He was a Western painter, clearly. I first learned about him when I went to the Western Art Museum here in Scottsdale, here in Phoenix, Scottsdale. And I was like, oh yeah, very cool work, you know. And he's a famous artist. There's books on him and everything. So, but even if it's just a vintage print, you know, I paid $7-8 on this. It'll sell well. Sell well, over 100, you know, is what I want to say. Oh, this one's a cool one. This one I found with the Monet's Nymphaeus. So I always like trying to kind of be like, that must have been the same collection. Now this is a Toulouse-Lautrec print. Also, I think this one's worth decent money because it's fairly hard to find, but isn't that cool? I think it's a beautiful piece. I love Toulouse-Lautrec. I love the Impressionist artists that were really kind of master draftsmen in terms of drawing. So that's like Toulouse-Lautrec and Degas. That's probably two of my favorites. Do you have any favorite Impressionist artists? I mean, I like Van Gogh too, because the stylization's so cool and powerful. I just see things falling and it makes me nervous. Oh, this one was actually sneaky good. So this had been at White Dove for a long time, as it turned out. So I had been there before, and I must have just missed these or not noticed them. But it looks like really innocuous, right? Because it's all this wrinkly, old looking, beat up looking sort of deal. And this was $10. Now the reason I got it though is because this exhibition poster for this artist, don't make me say it, I'll butcher it. But with these little, I almost said kiwi birds, they're definitely not kiwis. They're some sort of shorebirds, who knows. But this is actually pretty valuable. Like, I saw one similar one sold for about $500. So again, I'm not saying this is worth $500, but it's not worth nothing. And for $10, definitely good. I don't even know what this is. Back here, I got it for the other one, but yeah, that one's cool. I love these kind of finds where I'm like, oh, I had been in this store before. This piece had been there and I missed it. So it's like, how much? There's always stuff to find, at least here in Phoenix, you know. So I'm continually missing stuff. Doesn't mean I'm good or bad. It's just that there's always a lot to take in any store or any place, and that's also part of just building up your knowledge. Is you'll be able to perceive more quickly. This is my thinking. So you always want to keep stacking your knowledge as best you can, because it'll allow you to work more efficiently and more quickly. No matter how good AI gets, can't beat like a very strong base layer of human knowledge. That's my bias and belief. So I don't believe in the people who run AI. I don't trust them. This was a really cool savers find. Paid $20, and this is a black velvet painting, like what you call it, Dreamcatcher, with a wolf. How cool is that? I think it's so cool. Again, it's kind of like the Ralph Lauren polo bear. I'm tempted to keep this one because it's such a cool piece. So beautifully done. I don't think there's an artist signature on there, but it's beautiful. Now getting into a couple flower prints and pieces. This is by a Dutch artist, maybe Huysmans or something, but I'm really bad with all the Dutch names. They're tricky. There's a bunch of H's and U's everywhere, and you know, they really mess with you if you're not really knowledgeable on it. But just a very nice piece. Now there's a kind of a couple tiny little things. This is for my OCD thing. There's a couple tiny little like random, I don't know what, the floating around in there, and I'm like, oh, it's so beautifully framed. I don't want to like you know, take apart the back to try and get those little things out. It's kind of just a little annoying. But you know, even something like this, I'm not going to sell for too much. I'm going to sell that for like 100. And you know, it costs 10, 15, something like that. This one I really like. I didn't count this. This was like $8 or $10. No, I took the sticker off, so I can't remember exactly. But this is an original watercolor painting. It's really beautifully done. I love the composition. It's a beautiful piece. You know, value undetermined. I'll see. But to me, that's a no-brainer. There's like, and it's all, there's markings on the back there. So it's fairly vintage. But that's what, you know, in my opinion, you build your, in any field and anything, you build your knowledge and your eye, and, you know, use your judgment. Not everything can be, you know, perfectly spelled out. You're going to have to, there's a lot of gray areas to work. This one I love. Also, Henri Fontaine Latour. Had to say it the French way, you know that. Late 19th century French kind of impressionist stuff. Not quite impressionist. He was tighter than most of the impressionists, but wonderful artist. Did a lot of flowers, obviously. Well, maybe you didn't know that, but that's what he's known for. Great artist. Probably considered, I guess, the best in his period for this kind of work. Now this, I want to say it cost about 10 to 12, and he saw that for about 100. This one's cool. This is another white dove pickup. Steinlen. Oh, I can't remember his first name. It's like Theophile. Is that right? I don't know. But he has some very famous like posters and cat posters that he did that are just, they're amazing. And this one, yeah, so I paid 10. You know, sell for 50, around there, maybe a little less even. It's just a cool piece. This is another white dove pickup. White dove, it gets a lot of cool art. Sometimes you have to pay up a little more than even the Goodwills and whatever, but if it's a cool piece, you know, it can be worth it. This one is another one I'd be tempted to keep, but what I'll do is I'll photograph it, I'll list it, but I'll hang it on my walls. I mean, This is just a really cool poster by this artist down here. And just look at the lady's style. That's so cool. The yellow jacket, the boots, you know, the hat wear. Very cool. That style right there. I love it. Now, oh, another bird I probably can't identify. This one they priced, I got it yesterday, Goodwill, $5. You know, this is the kind of work I really didn't like when I was younger, because I thought it was too like static and just kind of like, I don't know, I thought it was boring. Now I'm like, maybe this is part of getting older, is you get into birds. Doesn't mean you actually learning what different kind of birds are, but I love birds. And flowers. So, but anyways, you start getting into these kind of like chill, meditative, beautifully executed, illustrative nature and botanical pieces. They've been growing on me a lot. And they also felt very like too traditional, too old school for me. You know, when I was younger. Now I'm like, oh yeah, I like it. So $5, but this actually might sell for 100. But you know, because I have so much art, and in picking up so much, I might try and just price like some of these things much more aggressively to move. So try and pass a deal to somebody, especially if it's local, because if it's local, I can save myself the hassle on, you know, all the packaging and stuff, which for the larger pieces, I really hate doing unless it's like you're getting really paid. If I'm getting paid, I'm like, oh, I'll do it. It's not a big deal. It's a pretty cool piece. This was a Savers pickup, so I got it with 25% off, so it was about $9. The artist, let me tell you, is Bev Doolittle. So I think she's fairly well known within the genre. You know, with Native American portraiture and things like that. So actually, that's fairly sellable. I think it could sell around 100 probably. This one, oh, this is a funny one because I saw it and I'm like, oh yeah, it's John Elway, cool. And then it's like a poster wall clock, right? And then I saw it. Oh, what's that? Okay, that looks like, I'm just guessing, facsimile signature, you know? Like, I doubt that's real, because also the reason I say that is because it was priced, list price at 10. So I'm like, yeah, I mean, they're not going to price a John Elway signed thing for $10. And then there's a certificate of authenticity on the back. Now, what I would say on something like that is anybody can make up a bullshit certificate of authenticity. But nevertheless, I do think it's legit. So I don't know what Elway signature stuff goes for. My initial guess would be between $100 and $200. And again, I can always kind of use my judgment if I want to sell it faster. I'll just price much more aggressively on the lower end. This is a personal pickup Nagel that I got off of eBay. This is going to be, I need to find the right frame for it though. That's the thing, because it's a bit of a funky size. So, and I come across a lot of frames, so it's not a big deal. But it's just, you know, managing that. I just have to find it. Now I'll show you a couple more. Well, these ones are kind of hard actually, now that I'm seeing it. Because I have another Nagel piece, a large one, a really cool one, that I want to show in there, but it's kind of rolled up. Now this is a Edward Munch exhibition poster from '73. Very cool, in my opinion. From Denmark. Now, very cool piece. I got it off of eBay, probably about $15. And I got it with this other Nagel piece, so the shipping was combined. This one should be fairly sellable actually. But I like that that Munch drawing. I just think it's a cool one. Okay, I want to do this without like causing any damage. But this is another Nagel piece. I actually have a ceramic tile with this image. That's really cool. So I might put them up next to one another on my walls. So we'll see about that. Okay, that's it for the art. That was a lot. That's a lot. My friend Gloomy Girl Books. She's like, you know, she walks into my space. She's like, dude, your space gives me anxiety so bad. I'm like, yeah, I really gotta. Personally, I just like block it out, Sebastian. Don't worry about it. I should worry about it though. So let me get into clothing now. You know, Obey is a tricky brand. Oh man, Obey got saturated. They used to be, you know, a little more cutting edge, I suppose, back in the day, streetwear. But this is an Obey hoodie. You know, the price are cheap. Cost me $4. So yeah, I don't know. It's not bad. So we'll see. I kind of like it though. I like certain Obey things. I will pick up like Obey if it has a cool old school graphic where we're doing the good colorways and kind of screen print look, because they do a lot of they've expanded their design range a lot, and a lot of them just are it's not that they're bad, they're just very basic. Now this is a cool piece. Savers pickup, Monarchs. Now the reason I picked this up is I think it's from the 50s. When you look at the typography there, and it cost me about, so 20 was list and 25% off of that. So what, 15? Ebbets Field Flannels. Vintage, authentic. Actually, it says vintage. That's never a good sign, actually. I hope this is not a redo, but it looks old. So actually, I might have to make sure that's not a modern repro. I might have just missed that, because whenever something says vintage on it, it's usually not that old. You know? It's just like when anything that is marked as on the packaging or whatever as collectible, this is like a collectible. It never ends up being a collectible because it's too manufactured. It's too, it just doesn't work. And the market dynamics, I mean. This is a vintage Bob Marley hoodie. It's really cool. Here, I'll show you the tag on it. This costs about 10. Here's the tag. But it's really nice. If we had warmer weather here, or I mean colder, I'd consider keeping that. But I just can't get enough use out of these hoodies and stuff a lot of times. This is cool. This is from Africa. This little rooster guy. I think it's like Zambia. I just think it's fun. I might wear this one a few times. $4. This is a good one, I think. This is a vintage, majestic, made in Korea, Chicago White Sox jersey, just team jersey. But this, I sold a Florida Marlins one a while back, but that was a Russell actually, so it was older than this one, because I think this might be late 90s. Is this a team you know? The Arizona Rattlers, AFL. This is Russell, so it's vintage. Now, ninth man, Arizona Football League. No, not Arizona. It's you know, the indoor football league they had. I don't even know if it's still going. But the Rattlers were pretty popular here, and that one actually should be decent value. I don't think it was too expensive. I think it was like under $10. This is, you know, one of my favorite just regular brands is Lacoste. So also Savers picked it up for, I'll tell you here, about $8. And you know, it's got that plaid lining, which is nice. It's a larger size, XL. So good. So it's got a lot of good factors. It's vintage. So yeah, that had some good factors. And you know what? Sell that for 50, maybe 40 to 50. Nothing crazy, but I like it. This one, I didn't count. Polo Ralph Lauren hoodie. Had just been put out. It cost about $7.50. What's this? Oh yeah, this is a cool one. I don't pick up too much modern Jordan stuff, but this is apparently fairly limited issue with Little Richie in there, and you know, Jordan throwback to the those 90s commercials with Spike Lee and the Looney Tunes stuff. This one, This one I just got for myself actually, so I'll just show it to you. It's just fun. I like the patterning, and the material is nice. It's a little heavier weight. The brand was some random brand I'd never heard of. It's probably nothing, you know. If I were to sell that, I'd sell it for $10. This one's interesting actually. This one I paid $8 on. So it's a blazer, cashmere actually, and it's vintage. It's this brand. Do you know this one? Borsellini? I think it was kind of luxury-ish. So I might be able to sell this one for good money. Good money? Hundreds. Could I be overestimating? Of course. But that's what I'm thinking right now. Until I do further research. And this one I just liked. This one I found in the women's section. Brand is Bellagio. I don't know if it's tied to the hotel or not. But it's really cool. So it's women's and it's kind of see-through, but I was joking with my friend Laura. I'm gonna try and wear this. She's like, oh my God, Sebastian, you're crazy. And you know, that's fair. But you know what? What's great is I've gotten to a point in time in my life where I'm old enough that I just don't care anymore. I'm like, let's just have fun and, you know, bring a little funk and flair if I'm feeling like it. This is good too, actually. Here, this is a vintage Red Bull jacket with a hoodie and a hooded thing. So does it have any other insignia I can show you that's like interesting? I'll show you the tag. What did I pay? I paid about 11 or 12. Yeah, no, it's just basic. You can see, but that has value, like good value, I think. Oh yeah, this one, just a belt. This one I picked up for myself. This is a colorway I really like. It's kind of a, what you call, I think it was being called, at least for a while, lo-fi colorway. That pink, purple, blue sort of deal, which I think is awesome. It's very appealing. It has an 80s color style to it too. Now these, I wasn't sure if I should have gotten, but they were just too interesting. And there were a few other pieces, and they're probably from the same person. So it's were some moto jackets, you know. And the reason I got them, this one cost me $40, is because they had so many interesting patches like that, like have story. It gives you story on the person, like they're unique in that sense. Like this is somebody who was a combat vet from Iraq. And then they had, there's some cool pins and stuff, you know, as well right there. Marines, yes. Then they got some commemorative stuff down here for Big Lou. Yeah, just nice, some cool patches. Any other ones? No, this one, the other one is a little better in my opinion because it's got a little bit more going on. It's got a lot of Jesus stuff too, and like in a cool way. I mean, like look at this. Isn't that cool? This one I also paid $40 on, so I paid on these. And I'm not sure how sellable they are. I think they are for people who collect military and kind of biker stuff, like unique pieces. But there's probably a decent amount of this sort of stuff out there. So I don't know this particular market that well. Redskins fan, I guess. Jesus #1. There we got that. We got some cool pins. Yeah, this one I really liked. Got the dude's name. Got all sorts of stuff going on here. Yeah, and then you got see these kind of pieces. They tell you a story. On like you can kind of just imagine who was wearing it. I'm like, oh yeah, they were bringing their style. They were bringing what their vibe and their like cultural stuff that and their experiences. They're telling you their story through their combat stuff, you know. Anyways, I get excited for those pieces because I just think they're cool. From a personal side, like if I was collecting military stuff or and biker stuff, I'd want to collect stuff like that. Vintage Suns starter jacket, lightweight. This is windbreaker. So let's see. Yeah, paid about 18. Not bad though. That's good. Um, these sell well, and there were two of these on the rack, so on the fresh wall, so I grabbed them both. This one I don't know as well actually. Here's this is a Pro Genus. It's definitely vintage, I think. Pro whatever. Also this one was a little more expensive, so I paid about 20. It's nice. And with that. Very cool. Lightweight. And they got the nice little pull on there. Cool pieces. Oh, this one. Not vintage or anything, not that old. Double stitch, but I mean, I don't even think they were around for when they were really single stitching stuff. But it's a cool My Chemical Romance shirt. Paid a little over $2. I like a lot of band stuff. It's not tied to a concert or anything, so. But the graphic is good, how they did it down there. I think it looks nice. Oh, this is Brooks Brothers, yeah. And I am not sure if this is men's or women's, actually, but it's nice vintage Brooks Brothers. And Brooks Brothers is fairly complicated, actually, in terms of understanding all the different variants and tags, you know. I watched a video by, I forget the guy's name, but he's very good. Coyote something or other. Look him up on YouTube for like Brooks Brothers history or Polo Ralph Lauren history, and he'll be one of the guys that come up usually because his videos are pretty well rated, and rightfully so. But he goes into some of the ins and outs on that stuff, and it's really cool. Like I don't know it at all, but this guy is he's very good at and knowledgeable. Kobe jersey. Pretty cool. You know what? This is like the first Kobe jersey I've found like in the wild. That, you know, I probably found others, but they just weren't priced in a way that made sense. But I paid about 14 on this. You know, Kobe. Would I rock a Kobe jersey? I'd thought about it actually. I mentioned in a video previously I probably would, like the baby blue ones that are a throwback to the Minneapolis days. But you know, Kobe. I was very excited when he came into the league because I was like in high school and I was just so excited. I was like, oh yeah, Kobe's gonna be awesome. This dude's awesome. You know, I was just into the hype. And then you know, I was rooting his career on and everything. And then the whole Colorado thing happened, and I was like, yeah. I stopped being a Kobe guy after that. Plus, he was kind of a chucker sometimes. Now, please don't. Oh man, the Kobe fans. Please forget I said that. Please excuse me. I apologize. Your boy was such a chucker. Why did I get these? Oh, maybe I got these for myself. These Levi's, size 32. Cost about 10. I don't even know. They might be vintage. You know, my knowledge on Levi, they don't have the big E. My knowledge on Levi's is very bad. So we'll leave it at that. I know like the most supremely basic things about Levi's, so I'm not going to bother you with my lack of knowledge on it. Marine Layer. Now this is company. It has a company logo on it, but Marine Layer, these kind of things, they do sell. This little quilted kind of sweatshirt sort of deal. Oh yeah, this one. This is another one. You know, okay, you gotta understand. I spent a lot of money these last couple of weeks. True. Sales have been good though, so that's good too. But I have been spending. Like, and the reason I say this is when I'm like, why did I take a gamble on this? It's a vintage, made in Argentina jacket. I think comment is that. That's the tag right there. But it's cool because it's this one I got it because it has factors I like that I think make it sellable. These this fringed leather with this pebbled marbling look up here and like the shoulders and everything. I think that's good. It's a cool look. Western is in. That's a cool jacket. It's a larger size. I'm not gonna worry. So I don't know. I'll price it around 100 to 150, and I'll even take down to 80 on it just to move it. But it's a cool piece. This is Crazy Horse. Look at this. Isn't this cool? This is rock and roll. I love it. The colorways are great. It's that Southwest, you know. It's got little geckos. Wait, no, sorry. It's Crazy Cowgirl. I was thinking Crazy Horse. Is it like a strip club or something? Like in Vegas? Is that what it is? I can't remember. What the hell is this? Is this a military jacket? Oh yeah, I remember what this is. These last few ones are Savers pickups. And this one cost about $7.50. This is a French late 70s military jacket, like lightweight outdoor sort of deal. I'll show you the label here. I can't remember what the I think it's like Cerizet. Oh yeah, Cerizet. There it is. We got some of the info on there. So yeah, that's cool. Please don't make fun of the French for their being terrible at military stuff. We used to be good back in the day. You know, back when we were terrorizing all of Europe with Napoleon, and he basically decimated our whole demographics, which allowed for the ass kickings that came later on, because we just didn't have enough people. We were the bully for a long time. Not that that's good. My grandma, she hated Napoleon. Did not get her started on Napoleon. She was like, she had him up there with Hitler, I think. I mean, not quite that bad, but she hated the dude. Sons, hoodie. This is cool. That's just a random asides. Do you need my random asides on that? Not necessarily, but I think it's fun. Pro Standard. This one paid about $12. You know, I'm going to list that one. I will list it on eBay, but for some of the Sun stuff now, what I'm doing, now that I've started using Facebook marketplaces, I'll list that on there. And I'll list it at like a cheaper price. Just to, because if you can move it local, I mean, it's good. And give some of your local pals a deal if you can. Now this one, I've gotten burnt on this brand before. Bathing Ape. Because what I mean by that is, I've made mistakes in picking this up, and then it wasn't legit. Because there's very good fakes. I mean, to me, they're very good. Maybe to people who are like more knowledgeable on the brand, they're like, yeah, that's such a basic error. But here's the tag. I'll show you. So is it legit? I was leaning towards thinking it is, and the price where I basically paid $7.50 for it, like, you know, I'm okay taking a flyer on this, and because if it's legit, it's good money. But you just don't, you got to be careful selling that stuff on eBay, because if you get too many rejections on it's not authentic, it starts digging up your account, you know, and it also, it's just, you don't want to have fakes in your store in the first place. It's not good. It's not good for your brand. It's disrespectful for your customer. So you got to try and do a good job to accurately describe and present material and objects, I mean. Oh yeah, so this one was Givenchy. Fancy like French brand, but I remember first time I found one, a blazer of theirs, I'm like, oh, this has got to be worth $1 million. No, it's like nothing. But the reason I picked this one up is vintage, and it's got an Academy Awards thing going for it. So that's kind of a factor it has going for it. Paid about $8, so, you know, I don't know what this will sell for. Probably about $50 is my guess. Nothing extraordinary, but it's kind of a cool piece because it's got the Academy Awards thing. Harley Davidson. This one's kind of cool, though, because it was $4. I found it at Goodwill, yeah. It's got a lot of cool patches. It's vintage. All in on the back there. If you can see, flaming dice. Let's see. And the reason you can tell it's vintage, let's see. One helpful thing is the zipper is YKK. And I believe that's a little older when they had the YKK thing. This is cool. Rain Spooner. This is a good one. Rain Spooner. I like this design on it. This is a cool one. Paid about $5. It's got an older tag. The tag is kind of thrashed, but there you go on that. That's a good one. This one I just picked up because they were both together, but I like this one more because this one's very basic. But also same deal, $5. Yeah, and also older tag. There we go. So, you know, don't have to sell that for a lot. I like Rain Spooner. Oh, this one I picked up off the marketplace. I like this one a lot because it's my good old buddy Lacoste. And it's got the crocodile. I mean, they always have the crocodile. What am I saying? But the thing is, the crocodile is made up of many crocodiles. I'd never seen this before. I actually think this was UK, sold in the UK. And I'll show you the tag. Size small. But paid 20. You know, it was somebody that lived really not far away from me. Actually, where I walk my dog all the time. So, yeah. Anyways, I like that one. I'd be tempted to keep it, but I'm not going to because sweatshirts here again don't really make sense, and I don't like things where I'm locked in. You know, I like zippers. Here's a United Colors of Benetton. This is a vintage piece. What's it say on there? Score. Another brand I really love. Value on this? I'm not sure. It was cheap. I don't know what it was. Was it $4? Something pretty cheap. Lacoste. Did I already show this one? Wait, am I getting the stuff I've already shown? Yeah, I have shown this one before. Oh, good. So that's not. That's actually. Let's see. I think that's all the clothing then. Oh, there's one last thing I forgot to show. Clothing. Shoes. And I have been good because I have not been picking up too many shoes because shoes are a great weakness for me. But LeBron size 12, paid 16. They have some minor wear on them. I'll show you. Let's see. Like here. But these are cool. You know, I kind of think yellow's hard to wear, but maybe if you're hooping, it's fine. But it's a tougher color to pull off, in my opinion. And what are those worth? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe sell them for 100, around there. So, anyways, if you had any favorites, any comments, any suggestions, corrections, always, because you know I went through like a million things, and you know, a lot of stuff is I don't know all the ins and outs. I'm just learning as I go. Now I'm fairly prodigious in my pickups, which is not necessarily a good thing. Like I said, I need to be a little more judicious probably, but I love it and it's fun, and it's working out okay overall. Just have to get better in multiple angles. You always try to get better at pricing, get better at the quality of the stuff you pick up, get better in your understanding of things. Yeah, you can always improve in so many aspects. It's kind of fun. And you know, you're continuously learning with something like this. Every object, you know, helps teach you in a sense. And I think that's kind of cool because all these objects carry their stories and their history just by nature of they tell a story of where you know where they come from, how they were made, the processes and the people behind them, and then the people who own them, and then on and on. So especially like the Harley jackets, I that's probably some of my favorites personally, just because there's so much story there to the object, you know, personal. So yeah. Anyways, hope you guys have a good one, and like always, 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 keep having fun. Bye.